we're talking about regret and forgiveness. And it's really, really important to understand what forgiveness is and what regret is. I want to concentrate more on regret, as I have talked about forgiveness. And if you want to go a little bit more into forgiveness, I do have YouTube videos that touch on this subject. Now, in terms of regret, one thing we need to really understand is what emotions are. Why do I feel regret, and what is that? Now, we tend to feel like we have good emotions and bad emotions, but realistically, we can't label them as good or bad. The way I always describe it is we have desirable emotions and undesirable emotions. And the reason we can't label any emotion as bad is because every emotion has its purpose. There's a reason for it. We get something out of it. So for example, I don't like feeling fear, but if a car was coming at me 100 miles an hour, fear would make me jump out of the way and it would save my life. So there's a benefit for fear. So every single emotion, well, okay, what about shame? Well, there's a benefit for shame. Shame will stop me putting myself in an experience where maybe people around me made fun of me. People around me pushed me away and rejected me. So the shame is how it stops me from putting myself in an unsafe place or position again. One of the things that we use regret a lot is, or are, the relationships in our lives. It may be a relationship that I've lost. It may be a relationship that I've been trying to build on for a while with someone close to me, and that's not happening. Now, regret also happens a lot in, it's to do with things in the past that I can't really change right now. And just like fear and anger, and there are benefits to emotions, what is the benefit to regret? Well, the benefit of regret is that I won't repeat the same mistake. I understand that me doing this turned out and the consequences were like this. So there are benefits to regret as well. What I've been through in my regret, in the experiences of my life, have taught me a lot. I've experienced this and I've learned from it. So how do I get to a place where I don't regret anymore? Because it's not just about talking about, well, what it is. How do we get to that place? And it's not a decision, just like forgiveness. No one can forgive for wanting to forgive. No one can forgive for trying or deciding to forgive. It's not a decision. And regret is the same thing. You may have an awareness of something which will take you to a place of not regretting anymore, but that's not a decision. It's not like I can just sit down and go, right, I'm not going to regret anymore, and that's it. To get to a place where I don't regret anymore is not something we can force. You can't force it. It's the byproduct of healing itself. So what should I do? We need to understand what's going on. We need to understand, first of all, that, okay, there are no good or bad emotions. There are desirable and undesirable. There are benefits to all of these emotions. So I need to understand why I behaved the way I did to the thing that I regret. One of my most famous quotes is, "You're not doing anything wrong." There's no such thing as self-sabotage. If you dissect and understand every single behavior that we have, you will see that at the root of the reason of these behaviors is because it's a way that we've learned to stay safe. So by understanding that truly and seeing one of the ways that maybe self-sabotage or a behavior that could seem as self-sabotaging is an experience where I put myself out there, I started to dance in front of people, I got made to feel shame, I was made fun of. So a part of me has learned not to let me dance. And as an adult, I'll really want to dance and people will be like, well, you're just sabotaging yourself. But it comes from a core wound of learning that that is unsafe. Me dancing is unsafe. Another example of self-sabotage. You may be in a relationship and that relationship might get quite serious. And you may start being too vulnerable with someone, and it might get you to a place where you've never been this vulnerable. And the last time that you were this close to someone and loved someone so much, It was extremely unsafe for you. So you would sabotage the relationship. But it's not self-sabotage. It's, I have learned that love is unsafe through the experiences that I have had. So by understanding that the decisions I have made have come from wounds, have come from experiences where I've been hurt, that's a really good way of starting to get to a place of understanding, okay, I regret that and I made these decisions. But why did I make these decisions? They come from pain. And we heal the aspects of ourselves that have learned that this is how we stay safe. I don't put myself out there and I don't dance because that's how I stay safe. I push people away. I don't allow anyone to get close to me and love me because I learned love is unsafe. So that's how I stay safe. And by healing these aspects, the only way we can heal these aspects is through love. All spiritual and healing paths go towards self-love. I can't heal any part of myself without self-love. So by accepting these parts of myself, by bringing them in with love, this is me learning how to love myself. That's the only way I can heal. So we heal more and more. And the more I heal, the more I start loving more aspects of myself, because this is what healing is. This is what I do. And the more I start doing that, I'm loving more of myself. And I am this version of myself. And I keep healing and I keep evolving, as in becoming this version of myself and this version of myself and this version of myself. But as I'm doing that, I'm loving myself more and more. And eventually I get to a place where I truly love myself, and I can comfortably through my healing journey saying I've got to a place where I was hating myself to a place where I love myself. I've gotten to a place where I've started to truly find my own worth. And at that stage, I realized that I practice so much self-love that I don't want this version of myself to change. And I wouldn't be this version of myself if I hadn't gone through what I've gone through, if I hadn't made the decisions that I did, if I hadn't learned what I have learned. So I'm finding approval for what I have been through because it made me who I am now and the version of myself that I love. So do I regret the decisions that I made? Well, no, I'm starting not to regret them, because now I am loving and I'm showing myself so much love that I love this version of myself, and I couldn't be this version of myself without those decisions. So I'm starting to allow myself to let go of this, and I know that I wouldn't be this person. By meeting the unmet needs that all of these aspects that are part of me have, I'm able to get to a place where I love myself enough that I approve of the situations and experiences that I've been through, which now have brought me to a place where I can let go of my regret. Being able to let go of your regret is not a choice that we make overnight. It's through the healing, through the awareness, through the progression of the work that we do, we will eventually get to a place where we can let go of our regret.